Paschati. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 24, Text 30. Svayam Vakyam Ritam Kartam Avatirno Sime Krihe Chikir Sur Bhagavan Gyanam Bhaktanam Mana Vardhanaha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shilpa Prabhupada. Kardama Muni said, "You, my dear Lord, who are always increasing the honor of your devotees, have descended in my home just to fulfill your word and disseminate the process of real knowledge." When the Lord appeared before Kardama Muni after his mature yoga practice, he promised that he would become Kardama's son. So as we had been reading, that the goal of yoga practice is to see the Lord. That is the perfection of yoga. So Kardama Muni, he was a perfect yogi. He got the fruit of his yoga. He could see the Lord. He descended as the son of Kardama Muni in order to fulfill that promise. Another purpose of his appearance is Chikir Sur Bhagavan Gyanam, to distribute knowledge. Therefore, he's called Bhaktanam Mana Vardhanaha, he who increases the honor of his devotees. Bhaktanam Mana Vardhanaha, he who increases the honor of his devotees. By distributing Sankhya, he would increase the honor of the devotees. Therefore, Sankhya philosophy is not dry mental speculation. Sankhya philosophy means devotional service. How could the honor of the devotees be increased unless Sankhya were meant for devotional service? Devotees are not interested in speculative knowledge. Therefore, Sankhya enunciated by Kapila Muni is meant to establish one firmly in devotional service. Real knowledge and real liberation is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in devotional service. Real knowledge and real liberation is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and engage in devotional service. Because that is our constitutional position, the constitutional position of every living entity. And that's what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita also, just surrender unto me, sarva dharmam parityagya. That's what we have to do. That's our constitutional position. So material life is when we say, why should I surrender to Krishna? And liberated life is surrender to Krishna and engage in devotional service. So reading on 31, Tani eva te bhirupani Rupani Bhagvam Stava Yani Yani cha rochante Swagyanam Swajananam Arupinaha. My dear Lord, although you have no material form, you have your own innumerable forms. They are truly your transcendental forms, which are pleasing to your devotees. So Kardama Muni is saying, yes, my dear Lord, you have, so Kapila Muni is standing next to him, he's in front of him, no? Kardama Muni is offering prayers to Kapila Muni. He's saying, you have no material form. You have many, many of your own forms, and those are all transcendental, all spiritual. So when the Lord or his expansions come, his incarnations, those forms are not material. That is what we have to understand. We are not able to understand that because for us, everything, a form is material. That's what we can see. We are like, oh, if I can see with my eyes, it has to be material, you know. But the Supreme Lord, when he comes in his incarnations, those forms are transcendental. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the Lord is one absolute, but he has ananta or innumerable forms. So it's not that God, there are many gods. God is one, but he has many forms. Lord Ramachandra, Nishingadev, Matsya, like for example, Ram Navami is coming up. We'll be celebrating that. And then Lord Nishingadev's appearance is coming next month. So all this is the forms, the expansions of the Supreme Lord. Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Ananta Rupam. The Lord is the original form, but still he has multi-forms. Those multi-forms are manifested by him transcendentally according to the tastes of his multi-devotees. So the Lord is one. He has his original form. Etechamsa kalapamsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. And he expands. He expands, and all his forms are all transcendental. Transcendental means beyond our senses. Beyond our senses, transcendental. And these forms are according to the taste of the devotees, how the devotee wants to worship the Lord. It is understood that once Hanuman, the great devotee of Lord Ramachandra, said that he knew that Narayan, the husband of Lakshmi, and Rama, the husband of Sita, are one and the same, and that there is no difference between Lakshmi and Sita. But as for himself, he liked the form of Lord Rama. So Hanumanji, he is a pure devotee of the Lord. Pure devotee, he is an acharya of servitude, how to serve the Lord. He's the acharya teaching how to serve the Lord. He's saying, I know there's no difference between Lord Narayan and Lord Ramachandra. I know there's no difference between Lakshmi Devi and Sita Mata, but I still like the form of Lord Ramachandra. His heart is with Lord Ramachandra. In a similar way, some devotees worship the original form of Krishna. When we say Krishna, we refer to all forms of the Lord, not only Krishna, but Rama, Nishima, Varaha, Narayan, etc. So some devotees like, they have special attraction for Krishna as Shyam Sundar. So it depends what the devotee is attracted to. Some devotees are attracted to Narayan form. So, but it's all the one. It's all absolute. It's all Krishna. The varieties of transcendental form exist simultaneously. Now we'll say, oh, but Lord Ramachandra, Lord Nishingadev, they came at different times and now they are no more. No, they are eternal forms. That's what we have to understand. About this material body that we are in now, we have to give it up after whatever time that we have, and it will not exist anymore. But the Supreme Lord and his forms are eternal. They never die. So where are they? They are all in Vaikuntha. And also in the different universes in this material world. In some way or the other, the pastimes of the Lord are going on. They're eternal. Eternal. It's like we say that when it is night, that we can't see the sun, but doesn't mean that the sun does not exist. It exists. It's visible in the other part of the world. Similarly, Lord's forms are eternal. He's performing his pastimes in some universe or the other, and at the same time, his eternal forms are there in Vaikuntha. So the varieties of transcendental forms exist simultaneously. That is also stated in the Brahma Samhita. Ramadi Murtishu Nana Avataram. He already exists in multi-forms, but none of the forms are material. None of the forms are material. Why so much stress is being given for us to understand this? Why? Because Krishna says, once you understand that my form is not material, my form is transcendental, you're liberated. He's saying you just understand that and you're liberated. You don't need to come here to this material world again. So we might say, oh, but I don't know how to understand it. Then we approach Krishna in a prayerful mood. My dear Krishna, I surrender unto you. I'm not able to understand it. Kindly, please reveal this to me. Kindly help me to understand this. So Sridhar Swami has commented that arupinaha, without form, means without material form. So arupinaha, without form, because we are saying Krishna is Ananta, God is Ananta, unlimited. So then some people say, if he's unlimited, how can he have a form? Why not? He's unlimited, so he can. That's the meaning of absolute. We are putting our limited mind to it, and so we think something unlimited cannot have a form, because that's our limited thinking. But unlimited means, yes, he can have a form. That's what it is, unlimited. Arupina, without form, means without a material form. We have to understand that the Lord's form is not material, it is spiritual. The Lord has form. Otherwise, how can it be stated here, Tani evate pirupani, rupani bhagvam stava? You have your forms, but they are not material. Materially, you have no form, but spiritually, transcendentally, you have multi-forms. So here Kardama Muni is saying that you have no material form, but you have all your forms are spiritual. They are all transcendental. So we see all the devotees, like Brahma Samhita is giving this evidence that all the Lord's forms are transcendental. Mayavadi philosophers cannot understand these transcendental forms of the Lord, and being disappointed, they say that the Supreme Lord is impersonal. But that is not a fact. Whenever there is form, there is a person. Many times in many Vedic literatures, the Lord is described as Purusha, which means the original form, the original enjoyer. So the Vedic literatures, they describe the Supreme Lord as Purusha. Purusha, the original form, the original enjoyer. That is how the Lord is described. The conclusion is that the Lord has no material form, and yet, according to the liking of different grades of devotees, he simultaneously exists in multi-forms such as Rama, Nrsimha, Varaha, Narayan, and Mukunda. There are many thousands and thousands of forms, but they are all Vishnu Tattva, Krishna. So depending on the ras of the devotee, the Supreme Lord takes on that form, takes on the form in which the devotees would like to worship him. So they are all thousands and forms of the Supreme Lord. They are all Vishnu Tattva. They are all Krishna, all Krishna. Any comments or questions?
So just one thing, that here they are the Kapila Muni, Kardamba Muni is telling Kapila Muni all this, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Because Kapila Muni is the Supreme Lord, and Kardama Muni is, offering these prayers to him. So,
okay, yeah, perfect.
Tvam suribis tattva bhutas yadha sada bivard dharhana padapitham aishwarya vairagya yasho vabodha virya shriya purtam aham prapadye. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the reservoir that always deserves to receive worshipful homage from all great sages, eager to understand the absolute truth.
मेरे पास अभी नहीं है, अंदर से निकालना पड़ेगा तो कल
You are full in opulence, renunciation, transcendental fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty, and therefore I surrender myself unto your lotus feet. So here we see Kardama Muni is saying, your lotus feet are the reservoir that deserves to receive worshipful homage from all great sages eager to understand the absolute truth. So if we want to understand the absolute truth, then we need to worship the lotus feet of the Lord, just as the great sages are doing. The great sages who want to understand the absolute truth are worshiping the lotus feet of the Lord. And so if we want to understand the absolute truth, we should also worship the lotus feet of the Lord. And Kardama Muni is saying, you are full in opulence, renunciation, transcendental fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty. So this is the definition of Bhagwan, one who is full of these opulences. And Kardama Muni is saying, I surrender myself unto your lotus feet. Surrender. This is what a devotee does. I surrender to you, my dear Krishna. Actually, those who are searching after the absolute truth must take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and worship him. So if we really want to understand the absolute truth, we are looking for the absolute truth, Absolute truth means which can never change, is absolute. And it's truth, not a relative truth, but the fact. Then we need to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, take shelter of his lotus feet and worship him. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna advised Arjuna many times to surrender unto him, especially at the end of the 9th chapter. Manmana bhava mad bhakta. If you want to be perfect, just always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your obeisances to me. In this way, you will understand me, the personality of Godhead, and ultimately, you will come back to me, back to Godhead, back home. So Krishna is saying this time and again. Time and again, Krishna is telling us that you just think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your obeisances to me. And what's going to happen? You will understand me. You will. This is Krishna's guarantee. We just have to follow his instruction. And then understand him, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. He's the Supreme Lord. And he's saying, you will come back to me. You will come back home. Krishna wants us to come back home. That's the reason he's giving us these clear instructions. We just need to follow them. Why is it so? The Lord is always full in 6 opulences, as mentioned herein: wealth, renunciation, fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty. The word purtam means in full. No one can claim that all wealth belongs to him, but Krishna can claim it since he has full wealth. Similarly, he is full in knowledge, renunciation, strength, and beauty. He is full in everything. No one can surpass him. Another one of Krishna's names is Asamurdhva, which means that no one is equal to or greater than him. Asamurdhva. So we all want to be great. You know, we might be greater than a few people in certain things, you know. But Krishna, he is the greatest. No one can be greater than him. We might be greater than a few people in a particular area. It could be, you know, what Krishna is saying here: wealth, renunciation, fame, knowledge, strength, and beauty. But we will find there's someone greater than us in that field. And then someone is greater than us. So we might come to the person who's the greatest in this earth. But yet, this earth is not the whole thing. It's not that there are no other living entities beyond this earth. There are so many living entities which are in the other planets, in the other universes, the demigods. So Krishna, he's the greatest. He's full in everything. No one is equal to him or greater than him. So it doesn't mean that, okay, now I'm not equal to or greater than Krishna, but maybe after I get liberated, I will get greater than Krishna. No, the Vedic literatures claim it very, very clearly. No one is greater to or equal to Krishna, neither in this material world nor in the spiritual world. That's why he's the Supreme Lord. He's the Supreme Lord. So he's saying, you just surrender to me, think about me, worship me, offer your homage to me. You will understand me and you will come to me. Any comments? No? Then we'll read on. Param pradhanam purusham mahantam kalam kavim trivritam lokapalam atmanubhutyanu prapancham swachanda shaktim kapilam prapadye. I surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, descended in the form of Kapila, who is independently powerful and transcendental, who is the Supreme Person and the Lord of the sum total of matter and the element of time, who is the fully cognizant maintainer of all the universes under the 3 modes of material nature, and who absorbs the material manifestations after their dissolution. So here again, the Kapila, again, Kardama Muni is speaking to the Supreme Lord, who's come as Kapila Dev, in relation to the material world. In relation to the material world. Why? So that we can understand who is this this material energy. She's working so perfectly. The material laws are so perfect. Under whose jurisdiction is it all working? It's also perfect. The seasons come every year. The trees, the seed is there. The Vedas say, right? There's a seed, but inside the seed, there are millions of trees. There are millions of trees. We sow a seed, the tree comes, fruits are there, so many more seeds, so many more trees. So under whose order is it having everything working perfectly? The law of gravity, or the planets that are floating in the space. They're floating all in the space. Here we see everything in place because of gravity, but outside the planets are floating. And not only that they're floating, they're rotating. They're rotating, but we on Earth can't feel the movement. We are not feeling dizzy, it's like suppose if we go round, we go dizzy, right? But here the Earth is rotating and revolving, both. But we don't feel a thing. So under whose order is everything going on so perfectly? Who's this such an intelligent, creator of this universe, of this whole material manifestation, is the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord. So the six opulences, wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, are indicated here by Kardama Muni, who addresses Kapila Muni, his son, as Param. The word Param is used in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam in the phrase Param Satyam to refer to the Samam Bonam, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So does it mean that Kardama Muni, who's standing in front of Kapila Muni, does it mean that Kapila Muni, who's standing in front of Kardama Muni, is the Supreme Lord, but he's going to be the Lord, but there is, how should I say it? Does it mean that he is not the Lord now because he's there in front of Kardama Muni, but at some other point he's going to become God, and that his body is going to vanish, and that's when he's going to become God? Does it mean that?
No, not at all.
Yes. So can you please tell me what's the correct thing?
He is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah.
It's there. Yeah. It's omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient.
Yes.
But he gives himself to his devotees, right?
Yes, Bhakta Vatsal.
Yeah, but like how he, Sudama came to him and how he gave himself to Sudama,
Yes.
Hugged him and he washed his feet. My God, so much of humility.
Yes. Yes. So true. So he's unlimited, but yet he's coming in a form that we can see. That is opulence. That is his opulence. If he was not able to do it, then there is no meaning to the word God. God means fully opulent, right? So someone who's unlimited and yet can take on a form, that is the opulence of the Supreme Lord, right? So, and as you rightly said, Bhakta Vatsal, as we approach the Lord, he reciprocates with us. As we approach, how do we approach the Lord? So, Param is explained further. So, Samam Bonam, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, right in the first verse, Srila Vyasadeva refers to Supreme Lord Sri Krishna as the Samam Bonam. The first canto, first chapter, first verse, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadhyasya Yato Anvayad Itaraschartheshva Abhikya Swarat Tene Brahmahridaya Adikavaye Muhyanti Yatsuraya Tejo Varimridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatrati Sargo Amrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi. Right in the first verse, he's calling Krishna. So immediately, to remove all the doubts, immediately pointing out who is the Samam Bonam, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Param is explained further by the next word, Pradhanam, which means the chief, the origin, the source of everything. Sarvakarana Karanam, the cause of all causes. So Sri Krishna, he is the cause of all causes. Sarvakarana Karanam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is not formless. He is Purusham, or the original person. So if we say Purusha, he's the Purush. So he's the original enjoyer. So he's the original person. So he's not formless. It's just that his form is spiritual, transcendental, beyond our material senses, beyond material. It is the time element. And he is the time element and is all cognizant. He knows everything, past, present, and future, is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna says, I know everything, past, present, and future, in every corner of the universe. Can you imagine? We think maybe we'll do something and nobody will know it, but Krishna knows. He knows. We forget that he knows, that he says, Kalos me, I am time. And he knows, he says, I know everything, past, present, and future. So he knows everything, not only about himself, but he knows everything about each and every living entity. There are millions and billions and gazillions of living entities. So I may know only about myself. You will know only about yourself. But Krishna, he knows about everyone, every living entity in the material world, in the spiritual world, everything. Can we imagine the intelligence of Krishna? Can't even imagine it. So shall we stop here? Is over time? Or what do you all suggest?
Yeah, I think it's still there quite a bit, right?
Yeah, because this is still here. So we can stop here and we can continue with it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.